Bunkai Strategies. We're taking a look at the move from Pinan Nidan or Heian Shodan, where we're already having done Gidan Barai, we rear back and deliver Tettsui Uchi, a hammerfist strike. And in some clubs this is done drawn up and delivered here, and in some it's launched back forwards, and in some there's something like a neko ashidachi in the middle. What we really want to have a look at is something very, very fundamental about it. It's quite simply this. We'll often see the demonstration that this is delivered to the nose. Now that's a really good target if you hit it exactly. If you don't, it's going to break, there's going to be blood everywhere, and it's not going to stop a fight. Particularly for guys who are adrenalized, we're going to see red, we're going to get mad, and the fight goes on. So we want to be able to use this technique to stop fights. It needs to be a finisher, not something that just escalates the situation. So if we're in here, and we get something like a big right hook come in, then the first thing I've got to do is stop that. And you can see that that automatically is going to change the angles of the body. I'm not now facing someone who is here like this, waiting to be struck on the nose. That angle isn't going to exist for me. Once we've received that and come in here like this, however, presents itself a treat. I've taken a 45-degree line, we can rear this up, and I might get a strike on the way up as well. And then as this comes down, whichever stance, whatever style we're doing, will dictate the stance. But as this comes down, it's going to connect very, very nicely with the midline of the jaw, which is projected towards us. So as this lands, this should get me a knockout, and it should be quite immediate. Now in training, what we do is get there quickly and then take our time with actually delivering it, because you just don't want damage to your training partners. But you've got to be able to get there in the first place. So we might be moving about, I might be posturing, and then whenever it comes, it's there, and I just place it knowing that I can deliver. To check it, we ask our training partners to stand, we make sure that their jaw is clenched, and then we make a very, very light strike so that there's no effect. Partner tells us so. 0. There was nothing in it. We've got up a fraction of power level.
1, 2.
So we know that it's still very, very light. There's nothing in it.
4.
We're up to about midway. 0 being I felt nothing. 10 being I'm going out if you do that anymore.
6 or 7.
6 or 7. We probably don't need to go any higher than that here on the screen, but you can see that that power level was just this, and if we landed it, then we would be causing some distress to the person who attacked us. However, you've got to be able to get there. It's got to be deliverable, otherwise it's just... So, we might be moving about, I might be posturing, I might be telling them I don't want to fight, and then we're going to rank the body into the situation and get to the point where we could deliver, get to the touch, but for the sake of training partner, holding back. And this is just delivered here, knowing that it could be delivered, it could go further, it could be committed if it was necessary. So this holding back, it's a training aid. We need to be able to deliver, we need to know what effect we can have, but at the same time, if your partner doesn't clench their jaw, we can be ripping it off, and at the same time, if we do clench their jaw, as someone who's angry might, then we're going to be knocking them out. And every time you knock someone out, you're causing brain shake, you're causing a loss of consciousness. That's never a good thing. So we test it in very, very small ways for the safety of our training partner. Now, if you want to see about knocking someone out on the move for real, then you're going to have to be in agreement that that's something that you want to do. And it's certainly not something that people looking at these early moves or working just finding out about Bunkai should be doing straight away. It's something you do when you've got a lot of experience. So the way that we're demonstrating stuff isn't always how we really want to train it. It's just to show how it works, how we get there. And then later on you want to up the ante a bit, but only when you're really sure of yourself. If you take someone who's unsure of themselves and go, right, have a fight, they're going to get smashed everywhere. But at the same time, if you to always work at this nice slow pace, then you never become aware of what it's really like. So these aren't a full situation. This is just little snippets to give you an idea of how this thing lands. Now, let's just grab a couple of alternative targets. As you can see, I've got height on my side in this situation. That's not always going to be true. However, what is always going to be true is this to here, and then this is coming down. If I'm not able to get the jaw, then just here is his clavicle. This is good. And if I don't manage to get the clavicle at all, striking down on the midline of the pectoral as we drive down into the body is also good. So these are targets that the targets might change, but the form remains the same. Whatever form it is you're practicing, you can pretty much guarantee that in the right context, it's going to deliver to vulnerable locations. Hitting someone in the chest square on like this, that's not going to get me anywhere. Hitting like that will. I just need to be in there to have the right angle to do it. It takes me away from his other weapon so that I don't get clobbered by that one on the way. Hopefully that will show you something about how this can be used that isn't a straightforward strike to the nose where it probably isn't going to finish the situation.